So the Vanderpump Rules reunion has come out, and this video is actually not going to be about that. It's going to be about Give Them Lala, the new podcast that Lala Kent has taken over from Randall. She made the announcement on November 22nd in a podcast called Introducing Give Them Lala, where she takes over the podcast. And I was curious to see how she, what she would release before the reunion about the situation with her and Randall, especially given what came out on Vanderpump Rules with some of her co-stars where she was really like in their relationship, and see how she was going to deal with that contradiction. I'm sure it wasn't easy, and I know it's going to come out on the reunion, which I will do probably a video about later. But in the meantime, I wanted to listen to what she said, and then I wanted to give some thoughts on it about Randall Emmett. By the way, I just came from the gym, so my hair is a mess. And I'm just going to leave it a mess because you guys like authenticity, so here it is. My hair after the gym. Okay, here we go. Listen.
This coming Friday,
yes,
which will be December 3rd. Will you spill tea? What are your thoughts on that?
I think there are certain things that can be discussed. Mm-hmm. And there are certain things that go a little deeper that, I will answer to the best of my ability.
Okay.
But, unfortunately for me, my head has been in the sand. I don't know how the fuck I didn't see a lot of this shit.
Right.
And some of my comments and my meddling in other people's relationships, I don't know if it was a projection. Mm-hmm. I don't know what happened. All I know is I, meddled in. Mm-hmm. My comments didn't age well.
Right.
And I'm okay with that.
Okay.
So I think a lot of it is going to be talking about that. Mm-hmm. And having to answer for a lot of those things. And, I'm big on accountability.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
I don't when I behave a certain way, this, that, and the other, I'm a firm believer in the universe has always held me accountable.
Yeah.
So, and it's made me have to sit here and face things and be truthful and honest. And with all of that, I'm grateful for, because I lay my head down every single night and I know that I am a good person, Jess.
You are one of the best people I know, and I'm not.
That's very sweet. I know that I mess up sometimes, right, but I am very proud of my evolution. And when I look in the mirror, I know, like, I am a good human being. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's good enough for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it should be. You're a great person. People see you. This is how I feel, because I was one of those people. I saw Lala and I was like, oh, she's a badass businesswoman. Look at her do this. Look at her do that. And then you meet Lala, and then within such a quick amount of time, you're like, oh, this person is so much deeper than I thought. And then even, a couple weeks later, I'm seeing Lala say things and do things on her own accord, not thinking anyone's watching or listening, for other people that no one will ever find out about. And she just does them out of the good of her heart for other people, for animals. And it's just like, oh, this is a good person.
I appreciate that. And I will say about my cast members, people watch and they all have an opinion. Oh, Sandoval's this. Oh, Sheena does that. Everyone has an opinion on every single person. Mm-hmm. I love Sheena. I fucking hate Lala. I can honestly...
So I thought it was interesting that Lala wanted to communicate so greatly and with such emotion. She almost started, or she was crying, I think, a little bit on her podcast about the fact that she's a good person. I thought that was interesting given the circumstances that we find ourselves in. I think she might feel a little bit guilty because she was attacking other people's relationships sort of on a high horse. And then, of course, her relationship unraveled with Randall. She does imply that she had her head in the sand, right? And that she was missing things. She drops a lot of stealth bombs on this podcast, which is why I'm doing an analysis. And then I'm going to give you, I think, an insight in the end. I'm trying to be super fair here to all sides. Anyway, it sounds like she's saying that she can't believe she missed these text messages that supposedly were happening with Randall, I guess, because that's really all I've seen. All I've seen is text messages. And full disclosure, I know Randall. You know, him and I have worked together when we were younger. We had a huge fight. We didn't talk for like 10 years. You know, it's a great story. Someday I'll tell it with him. I'll have him on the show and we'll tell it. And he can tell me his side and I'll tell you mine. But we made up and he made good on it. And so full disclosure on that. But I'm trying really to be conscious of Lala's side, that I can find out about information and you know, what I understand about Randall, which is obviously just from me being aware of his personality for so long and how he like thinks about things. Something you need to know about me too, as I do this, is the father of my child, who was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, cheated on me when I was 8 months pregnant, and eventually cheated on me to such an extent that his mistress texted me and was like, why are you sending pictures of yourself with an I love you to my fiance? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's my fiance. And she was like, no, he's my fiance. And anyway, that's me making a longer story way shorter, but that was like the gist for YouTube. I will someday tell the whole detailed story of it. It's really hard for me to talk about. So I am, you know, it's not like I take cheating lightly, because I've been hurt by it myself. So anyway, but I do want to be fair. So let's look at all sides. Okay, I'm going back to this now.
Working her ass off. She's such a hustler. I love her.
Thank you.
The one part where it was like, there are repercussions to your actions. You don't get to come home lay next to all this. Are you crazy?
I saw that, and how do you feel about that moment?
It just feels so weird. Like the universe was like, we're going to need to like make sure that she has some good interviews that kind of align with what's about to smack her in the face.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, amen to that. I did see that clip because I heard it as you were watching it and I peeked in. How do you feel about that? Would you say that same exact thing right now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are repercussions. Bye.
I love it. I love it.
Bye.
What else?
No questions asked.
No questions asked.
No questions asked. You know the deal in this relationship. I had my head in the sand for a really long time.
Right.
But I'm grateful no matter what. You know, what's 5 years and some change versus what I would have been in, you know?
Right.
For me, it's like...
So, yeah, she sounds like she feels like she wasted 5 years with Randall. That's what I'm getting from this. It's like kind of ambiguous, but said.
I give clear-cut things of what I expect in a relationship. Sadly, it's sad that you even have to say, like, I have a 0, this policy, and this.
Yeah.
The second that I felt unsafe, I said this in therapy. I said, the second I get a pit in my stomach, it'll be a different conversation. I got that pit, Jessica, and I got the fuck out.
Good for you.
No questions asked.
No questions
Bye-bye.
asked. Here's my question. No questions asked, but also I have a question.
Yeah.
So I saw that interview clip, and I thought, there's no way, if I knew some things were going on,
Right.
I wouldn't tell this person. And this interview was it was a while ago. Or not that long ago, but it was
a while ago.
It was. So my question to you is, you're this person in the interview and you're saying these things. Do you think that also comes off to your friends and castmates? Or do you think do you look at that person in the interview and think, oh, people must see me differently? You know what I'm saying?
You know, I ask that question all the time. Like, how could this be going on? And I had no idea.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I look at that person in the interview and that's who you are now. And it's a take no shit.
Right.
Don't even try and cross the line.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's very hard for me to watch this season.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. But you know what, Lala? You're the same person. That's what I'm like.
So she is basically wanting to make sure that everybody knows that she had no idea this was happening, whatever was happening. We don't know what's happening. It would appear from this that she believes the text messages and she believes that there was some shenanigans happening in Nashville. Although Randall denies that and says that he never cheated in Nashville and that nothing ever came from that. So she seems to have taken a position on that she believes that these bad things have happened, okay?
Sure, you say some things that didn't age well, but overall you're not watching the show and you're like, oh my God, I'm like cringing at what I believed in that moment, or my morals, or how I felt.
No, you're right. When I watch it, it's like I was just someone who...
Here's a really important thing to Lala is a little bit of her making sure the fans know that she isn't a hypocrite. So now I want to be on the other side, okay? And again, you heard my disclosures ahead of this part of the video. I mean, we've got text messages that have been redacted a lot. We have a part of a phone number that, you know, you can get. It's not like it's hard to get. You don't have the full phone number. You don't have any women coming forward saying that they slept with Randall, which at this point I would imagine they would come out and they would be selling interviews, right? Because it wasn't like there isn't any interest on this topic. So it's now like, you know, the topic of Vanderpump Rules reunion. I guarantee it. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna predict that. So like, I'm not seeing like women coming out of the woodwork saying I slept with Randall. Right? I mean, it is a point. Where I'm at with this is I haven't convicted him yet because I don't have any proof. I have no girl who's said she slept with him. I have text messages that are ambiguous. And let's face it, in this world, there are like porn sitting on the internet right now that look like A-list stars are doing it. And I cannot tell the difference between that person and like the real actor because they're that good. So like I can't just go off text messages, although I love it. It's juicy AF, daddy and all that. Come on, who doesn't love it? But I can't say that, you know, I 100% am on board. And I don't know why Lala left, but I don't believe their relationship is as simple over, you know, the last 5 years that they've been together as being made out. And also, let's just say this, right? I actually really think Lala is super entertaining television. And I think that obviously she's a stunning woman, so she's going to have no problems moving on, right? But I mean, I guess I don't know the history of their relationship. Like, I don't know, you know, in the 5 years, did Randall ever have a mess up? Did Lala ever have a mess up? Did, she had alcohol for a while. Did anything happen at that time where maybe the relationship got damaged and didn't get fixed? I don't know, because I can't ask those private questions. But I mean, I ponder it privately. Like, is there more to this story? You know, how does a relationship get broken down like this so quickly? I mean, they were getting married. They have a baby. It's like weird. Randall refuses to give me any deets because he loves his kids and he's protecting them. And, you know, he just wants things to calm down for actually Lala and the baby and all this. And he's just like, I can't care about this. Like, I just have to keep going. I have to take care of my family, and that's it. And I'm like, I hear you. Okay. I'm like, throw me a bone. No, but so anyway, I told him even though you're my friend, I have to talk about it because it's my job. But I'm always fair. I'm fair with everybody. Sometimes too fair. Just saying. Anyway, you guys asked me to comment on this topic for obvious reasons. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe, and I hope you appreciate my delivery. Okay, you guys. Yay!